What's up, Bears fans? Busy day here for the Chicago Bears. Busy day for me. Had a birthday party to go to for one of PJ's friends this morning. Had to do some family stuff, but now here to react to all of the roster news that has dropped. And let's go ahead and dive into it. The Bears earlier this morning traded for defensive tackle Chris Williams, who just spoke to the media, said he's currently 285 pounds, so I think you'll see him more in that three-tech realm. But an interesting move and a guy that Matt Eberflus is familiar with. Flus talked about that, obviously saying that there's going to be a lot of familiarity for him coming in here, but, he'll have to learn some new terminology, things that have changed since he was with the Colts with Williams in 2020 and 2021. This preseason, Williams was with the Cleveland Browns, had 2 sacks and a forced fumble that led to a safety. Had a really strong preseason, and something Williams said that made him excited about coming here was reuniting with Flus. And the thing he remembers most is how much Matt Eberflus emphasizes getting to the football, taking the ball away, which we hear that all the time, and sometimes it sounds cliche, but it's true, and it's contagious. We've seen a lot of takeaways from this defense in the preseason, saw it second half of last year. And look, obviously, the defensive tackle position is one that needed some depth. Flus did provide an update for Zach Pickens, at least somewhat of an update, saying they don't think it's too serious, certainly not a season-ending situation. Could he be missing week 1, perhaps? That's certainly a possibility. But, I said even yesterday that even with Zach Pickens, you're pretty thin at defensive tackle. I mean, you got Javon Dexter and Andrew Billings as your projected starters. If healthy, Zach Pickens is your third guy. DeMarcus Walker is obviously somebody that can kick in there as well. But now you add Chris Williams to the fold, and hopefully, if nothing else, he can at least be a depth body. But look, maybe you find a little diamond in the rough here. The trade was a 6th-round pick for Williams and a 7th classic late-round pick swap. This was the 6th-round pick they acquired in the Chase Claypool trade to Miami last year. So the Bears have used 2 6th-round picks in as many days to acquire Darrell Taylor and Chris Williams. Got a 7th back to get those 2 players. And also, they still have one more 6th left, the one from Pittsburgh via the Justin Fields trade, which, of course, could turn into a 4th-round pick if Fields plays 51% of the snaps or more. We'll see how that QB situation shakes out in Pittsburgh. But, yeah, I mean, I like the move. It's a low-risk addition for Chicago, and we'll see. I mean, I don't have huge expectations, but if nothing else, you needed some depth. And the few clips I saw, it looks pretty quick. Said he's listed at 285, like I mentioned, so he's got quick get off. I don't think you're going to put him at nose tackle at all at that size, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see what his role ends up being. Hit the subscribe button. We're going to continue to keep you guys in the fold with the latest Chicago Bears news, roster moves, few more moves we're going to break down here in a second, as there was a flurry of transactions today, not just Chris Williams. So don't miss out. Subscribe right now. We are trying to get to 100,000 subscribers, crossed 97 just a few days ago. All right, let's talk about some of the other roster moves. Kind of a tough one. Ian Wheeler placed on IR. He tore his ACL in that preseason finale. I don't think he was going to make the roster, but now his season is obviously over. And I guess from a Bears standpoint, glass half full, he kind of becomes an IR stash now. You can keep him in your building, rehab him in your building, and this time next year he can fight for a roster spot once again. Khalil Herbert's in the last year of his deal, so maybe a year from now there's an opportunity for Wheeler to compete for a roster spot in a running back room that was probably too crowded this year. So that's the good news. Obviously, the bad news is long journey ahead for him. Just you never want to see a player get injured, but there is a bit of a silver lining from Chicago's standpoint of things. And I like the way he runs. He's physical, he's fast, he breaks tackles. So best of luck to him in his rehab, and hopefully the Bears can, keep him around for a while. Nsimba Webster also placed on season-ending IR. I'm not sure if I saw what the injury was, but he suffered what appeared to be a non-contact injury in the preseason finale, and really a bummer, man. This guy has fought his ass off for 3 years now. He's been on the practice squad, but he keeps battling. And I don't think he would have made the 53, but certainly a practice squad guy for sure. Now he's out for the year, so we'll see what his future holds. But every time he gets out there in these preseason games, he's pretty reliable. So definitely a bummer to see him go down. Couple other maneuvers here. Tommy Sweeney, veteran cut already here. I wonder if he's a guy they bring back on the practice squad and is ready to go, if needed on a game day situation. I do wonder, is this a signal that they're only going to keep 3 tight ends, or do they opt to keep Brendan Bates or Steven Carlson as a 4th tight end? Because I've kind of been on this train recently that keeping a 4th tight end feels more and more likely. Just with Shane Waldron, he uses 3 tight end sets. I don't know if they're necessarily going to keep fullback Kari Blasingame. That could certainly go either way. I've seen projections from some Bears people with him on there, with him not on there. I listed him as a potential cut candidate, so we'll see. But Tommy Sweeney already cut, so at least for now, in the short term, he's not going to be on the initial 53. Now, he's not subject to waivers being a veteran, so the Bears might be talking with him like, hey, we're still interested in potentially bringing you back on the 53, certainly on the practice squad. We're going to cut you loose now as we start our cuts. Maybe, they're letting him explore if other teams need a tight end for sure on the 53. But I thought he had a pretty good preseason, looked the part. So we'll see if he's an option in the future. Freddie Swain, I think I mentioned that yesterday on an episode. He's officially been cut, had an injury. They went ahead and cut him as well. A bit of a disappointing one, not a disappointing cut, but just how this panned out. UDFA defensive tackle Keith Randolph Jr. out of Illinois, they gave him $200,000 guaranteed as kind of a premium UDFA, and he just never showed anything, man. Didn't flash in the spring, didn't do anything in these preseason games. I think he recovered that one fumble after Austin Booker had a strip sack in the one game, but I never saw him really flash at all in terms of him actually penetrating the pocket or anything like that. So he hits the road, and with him getting cut this early, I'm not even sure he's going to be a practice squad guy here. So certainly a bit disappointing. I thought he was a draftable player coming out of Illinois, and up to this point, he doesn't look like a guy who can play on Sundays. Douglas Coleman, a couple things here. One, did get released from the hospital yesterday. Matt Eberflus announced that, so that's very good news. That was a scary situation in the final Bears preseason game. He has been waived with an injury designation, so if he's not claimed off waivers, he will revert back to the Bears so they can keep him in the building, work on his rehab, all that stuff. So, I like that move. If someone wants to claim an injured player, they can. If not, the Bears keep him around as they, help him recover from that neck injury. So certainly a positive there. And I think that's it. I think that's where we're caught up. So if I'm doing quick math, they added Darrell Taylor and Chris Williams, but they've cut Tommy Sweeney, Freddie Swain, so that gets you back to 90, I believe. Keith Randolph, Douglas Coleman, 88. Ian Wheeler, Nsimba, Webster, 86. So you still got 33 cuts to go. Going to be a busy few days. If notable moves happen, we will have you covered here on Chicago Bears Now. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have a player on the roster bubble that you want to fight for, drop his name down in the comment section down below, and we will see you guys next time. Bear down.